Hello and welcome to another episode of Taylor Teaches Yoga. My name is Taylor and I'll be your teacher today. So this episode is going to be an under 30-minute episode for the people like me that maybe did a leg day or their legs are just really sore and you want to get some movement in today, but you need to stretch these out. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to work on hams, quads, and all the things in between, the glutes. It's gonna be a good little stretch. So let's just start here and seated real quick. And let's just get centered. So maybe that's bringing your eyes closed. Maybe that's taking a few deep breaths, maybe hands at prayer. Feeling the earth supporting your body beneath you. Reaching your spine, the crown of your head upwards, while your seat is sinking downwards, feeling just that push and pull. I'm going to invite you to set an intention for this practice. My intention is just going to be to stretch out these legs because they are a little sore. Yours can be whatever you want it to be. Let's take one more deep breath together. Breathing in through the nose. Exhale, sighing out through the mouth. Welcome. So we are going to start in a seated forward fold. So just bringing the legs out in front of you, flexing the feet. And then we're just going to fold forward as much as you can. If you can't go all the way, this is a forward fold for some people. Some people, this is a forward fold. If you have any pillows or blocks, you can use them to kind of prop your arms on. But we're going to be staying here for about another minute and a half. So getting comfortable. Maybe you can pad your under your booty with a blanket or something like that if you need. We're just going to fold down and inward. Feeling that really good hamstring stretch, making sure your feet are flexed. Noticing any thoughts or feelings that come up and just saying like, hey, I acknowledge you and I'm gonna let you go now. Yoga's my me time. Maybe your thoughts are, wow, this stretch is a lot harder than it normally is, and that's fine. Just let that be okay. Three more deep breaths here. So 1, 2, and 3. We're going to slowly walk up. Now we're going to come into Dragonfly, which is just like a wide-legged forward fold. Keeping the feet flexed, it's going to protect your knees. Then just slowly crawling down. It's okay if you can't get all the way. I usually can, but today my hamstrings and everything is just like, not today. That's fine. Just reaching as far out as you can. Feeling that edge of sensation. We don't want to feel pain. We just want to feel sensation. Breathing into the parts of the body where you're feeling that sensation. Maybe imagining that as you breathe in, you're taking in love from the universe, and maybe imagining as you breathe out that love is being sent to those parts of your bodies that work so hard for you. Now, if you're someone like me and you're a little hypermobile and your knees kind of go backwards, it can be really good to put like a blanket or something just to support your knees. Like that. I'm going to do it with 2 blankets. You can use one and just kind of string it across. If you're not and you're like, what the heck is that? Don't worry about it, don't do it. You just want to make sure we're maintaining a little bit of a bend in the knee. Feet flexed. Maybe as you're in this pose, you're like, oh, this edge isn't that bad anymore. Maybe sinking down a little deeper if you feel like, oh, you know what? I feel fine there now. Maybe you can go a little deeper. Maybe not. All outcomes are okay and perfect and exactly what they need to be. Sometimes when we're in a pose for a little bit longer, your brain can be like, when are we getting out of this? Oh my gosh, we've been here forever. I don't like this. And it can just shout all this noise at you. So noticing when that happens can be really powerful, and just deciding, I'm just gonna be here now and wait, and I know that will come out when the time is right. Letting your inner voice just kind of take the back seat. It might still be there, but it doesn't have to be controlling the whole ride. That little annoying voice in the back of your head, that is. 3 more deep breaths. And the last one, just walking yourself up, feeling maybe how your legs are feeling a little different. We're gonna come bringing the soles of the feet together into butterfly pose, my favorite pose, or Buddha Konasana. Now you don't need props for this yoga, but if you have props and you like using them, you can always put blocks underneath your legs for Buddha Konasana for a little bit more support. I'm going to do that, but again, completely unnecessary if you don't feel like you need it. If you don't have blocks, pillows, blankets, all that kind of stuff, towels, all works. What we're gonna do is we're gonna just get into a comfortable seat, kind of maybe adjust your hip bones, and then we're just going to slowly fold over, maybe putting your hands in prayer above your feet, and we're just gonna fold forward until we find that edge of sensation. So for some people, it's gonna be all the way to the floor. For some people, it's gonna be like, oh, that's enough. Wherever you're at, just know that that's okay. We're gonna hang out here for another minute. Really feeling those hip flexors opening up. Maybe you feel this somewhere else. Where we don't want to feel this is in our low back. So if you're feeling that, make sure you're just making sure your posture is pretty good and folding forward. What we don't want is like a rounded back here. We just want a flattened back. We don't want to feel it there. We want to feel it right here. Three more breaths. And the last exhale, walking it up very gently. Okay, if we're sick of forward folds, I've got good news. We're not going to do the forward fold this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of wrap our left leg underneath us, and we're going to stack our right knee on top of our left knee. It's called cow face pose. We're going to take an arm variation. So we're going to do left arm on top of right arm, so the elbows are kind of on top of each other, and then if you can, kind of clap the hands together. If you can't, that's fine too. Just a good shoulder stretch. If you're feeling this in your knees, flex your feet. That will protect your knee joint. And we're just gonna feel into this hip and shoulder stretch. Stretching opposite planes of the body, kind of releasing tension in 2 ways here. Maybe trying to put both of your hip bones, sit bones on the ground if you can. Adjusting as necessary. Maybe being curious about these sensations instead of being like, wow, I'm so bad at this. That's a thought that a lot of people have. Maybe saying, wow, okay, I'm feeling more sensation here. That's interesting. And maybe just allowing things to be interesting is a better way to handle it, as opposed to them being bad or good. They're just interesting. One more breath here. And starting to unwind. Now we gotta balance out the sides, so maybe you'll want to windshield wiper your feet back and forth, and then we're gonna take our right leg underneath, left knee on top. Now your 2 sides might not be equal, most people's aren't, so it's totally fine. One side may be able to go further, and then now we're gonna put our right arm on top, or left arm on top. Yeah, so now we're gonna put our left arm on top and feeling in those opposite planes. Flexing the feet, wiggling the sit bones down. Man, maybe one side feels like that's a lot more sensation. If the sensation ever becomes pain, feel free to come out of the pose or loosen it up or put blankets underneath your hips. We're going for sensation, not pain. Maybe noticing if your belly is expanding on the inhale and then contracting on the exhale. Maybe imagining that breath just being love, being pushed into the rest of your body when you exhale, and being taken in when you inhale. If that's too woo-woo for you, just maybe paying attention to your breathing. And slowly we're gonna come out of this pose. Okay, y'all are either gonna love me or hate me for this one. So if half pigeon, which is like putting your foot in like this kind of position, if that just feels awful for you, then you're just gonna do a figure 4 on your back. With one of your legs on top and just pulling that back if you don't like pigeon, which I understand some people hate it. But what we're gonna do is we're just going to get into all fours. Then we're gonna take our left leg and we're gonna try and put it kind of close to parallel. Mine doesn't do that, a lot of people's don't do that. We're just gonna reach that right leg back. We're gonna slowly fold over that front leg, keeping your hips square. Sometimes it feels really nice to put like a blanket under that hip. Sometimes it feels good to come all the way to the ground, but a lot of people that does not feel good. Sometimes this is as much as people can do. So just listen to your body, what your body's telling you right now. And it might tell you different things, different days. So just being curious with that. We'll spend another minute and half pigeon on this side. 2 more deep breaths here. On the next exhale, we're going to kind of walk onto that back hip. If you're on your back, we're just going to switch legs here. Coming onto that back hip, maybe windshield wipering it out will feel kind of good. And we're going to come back into that tabletop position. And then we're going to extend that, or take that right leg in front, left leg back behind, and fold forward, keeping those hips square. Enfolding to any degree that feels comfortable for you. Acknowledging that both sides may have different degrees of comfort. And that is a-okay, that's fine. We're human, we're not robots. We're not supposed to be 100% perfect on each side. I have a feeling a chiropractor is going to watch this and like hate that I said that, but that's okay. Oh man. You guys are doing great. Three more deep breaths here. And on the next exhale, we're just gonna lean onto that back hip. Windshield wiper the feet a little more. Ooh, how are we feeling? Okay, so we're gonna come back onto our back now. And this is a new pose I just learned, and I was like, man, this is a good hamstring stretch, so I'm gonna share it with you guys. So we're gonna extend our left leg out, and then we're gonna grab our big toe with our right hand, right fingers, and we're just going to slowly extend it as much as you can. So if you can only extend it to here, that's fine. Flexing the foot, and we're just gonna feel, this should stretch out that whole back of your leg. Making sure to keep both hip bones on the ground. Feeling into that sensation. You guys are doing great. One more deep breath. And slowly coming down, and we're gonna switch sides. So left hand to left foot, and slowly extending up, flexing that foot. It's okay if there's little shakes, maybe just coming down and bending that knee a little more if that's the case. Feeling that hammy stretch. Woo! Those hams. Remembering to breathe. One more deep breath here. And slowly we're gonna drop it down. And we're gonna plant our knees on the, or not our knees, our feet on the ground. And we're going to reach our left knee towards our body and grab it with the right hand. And then we're going to kind of splay our right leg on the ground like this, and then we're going to reach back for that right foot with our left hand. So if it's confusing, just look at me, grabbing here, and you should feel this stretch kind of all through the quad here. And I've noticed the more that I push into this with left knee with my right hand, the deeper that hip stretch gets. And if this is too much for you, you don't have to reach for it. You can kind of extend the leg further, but do what works best for you. Coming back to your intention. Back to your breath. And challenge you to pay special attention to the exhales. Maybe try to exaggerate them a little bit. One more deep breath. And then slowly, gently bringing your legs back to the mat, feet back to the mat. Now we're gonna set up and do this on the other side. So bringing that right leg in, holding it with your left hand, splaying out that left knee, and then reaching for that foot behind. Noticing that more pressure on the left and right knee is gonna make that stretch a little deeper on the right or left quad. Two more deep breaths. And slowly coming back. If you'd like to take happy baby, maybe grabbing the outsides of your feet with the outsides of your hand, and you're going back and forth, or extending one leg then the other. And now we're just gonna come and meet all in Savasana. Sometimes it feels good to put a blanket underneath your knees. We're just gonna lay down, relax. Maybe do a brief body scan and see if you can release any tension in your forehead, in your jaw, in your neck, arms, belly, glutes, legs, and feet. Trusting that my voice will guide you out when the time is right. Enjoy. back to our breath and our body. Maybe wiggling the fingers and the toes. Wrist circles and ankle circle. Maybe a good morning stretch. Ooh. And then hugging your knees in. Hugging your body. And maybe just going over to the right side. Using your arm as a pillow and appreciating your time for taking yourself for taking the time to have this practice. And then slowly we're gonna all come back to seated. You can have your eyes open or closed, whichever is most comfortable. I'm going to invite you to bring your hands to prayer position. Coming back to your intention. The hardest part of yoga is simply showing up to your mat and practicing, and everyone still watching did that today. I really appreciate you. Thank you for your practice. Namaste. If you like journaling about yoga, I've got these yoga journals in like 9 different colors up on Amazon. They're my favorite thing. I'll put the link down below to my Amazon storefront if you want to check them out. But yeah, thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys.